I don't, honestly, I don't respect the tournament.
So you don't care about Title Tuesday?
No.
Okay. Well, then that's
But not
fine.
just that I don't care. It's like I'll play it because I want to maybe try out a new opening, like for a personal reason, not because but when I play the event, I do feel very often that it doesn't have integrity. Like it's not free from cheating, which I might be totally wrong, but that's my feeling. That's my intuitive feeling when I play. Early on, I'll play someone I don't trust. Later on, I'll play someone I don't trust.
I feel bad that that's the story that goes on in your head. And I want you to know, I'm sorry, but when we roll out Proctor, then you won't be playing on Title Tuesday
that's
or in
totally
any
fair.
events on chess.
I mean, I won't complain about it.
Yeah.
That will just...
It won't be in any events. You won't be playing in SEC. You won't be playing in Title Tuesday.
I do it in those other events.
And just to be aware that, like, one, I do think it's an inaccurate story you've told yourself. That's my position. And I think once we have a story, it's very hard to get out of it. But I also don't agree that if you're not even willing to try something, I don't even think that's a fair perspective, because you're asking someone to argue with a religious, dogmatic point of view before you're even willing to consider the information. So I'm going to get back to the story about Danya, but I think you should think about that.
But it's not based on, like, me not wanting to use Proctor is not connected to that. It's not that I won't try it out.
But if Proctor is the tipping point based on some sort of stories you've heard that other people have had with Proctor.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just because when I play Title Tuesday, I do it because it's a convenient way usually to try out a new opening. Okay. But I don't find, or because I want to play a bit of Blitz online, but not because I feel like I'm playing a real event. So when it comes to another event, like let's say the Champions Chess Tour, those events usually I feel like I'm playing a real event.
And so you would use Proctor there?
Yeah, well, I've already gone through the security measures for years with those things, right? I've also played with in-person proctors for events that I...
What if using Proctor was a lot easier than you think, and the security measures for Zoom and all these other things were actually more obnoxious than what Proctor is going to be? What if Proctor was actually an easier, more convenient solution, and that what you're doing right now is taking a position without even knowing?
But it doesn't have to do with Proctor. It has to do with the event. It has to do with Title Tuesday.
I think
maybe my
your position
is not clear, but
would you say that your position in relation to Title Tuesday will change once everybody plays with Proctor? Once, let's say, the conditions improve in terms of...
I would have to look at the event. I would have to look at the event from the outside. Because also when I look at the event from the outside, I do feel like cheating is on a massive scale. That's, again, my personal opinion. Could be wrong, but I do see it like pretty often. And I could show you like individual results. We can on our own time.
You have. And we've agreed on some and we've not agreed on others.
Sure, yeah. But also it's not like something that it's personal to me, like I lose a game and suddenly I'm upset, you know? I also look at it from the outside and I do feel like I'm not looking at a real chess event. I'm looking at some sort of hybrid. Like some people are cheating, some people aren't. That's my feeling. Could be wrong, again. But when I look at some other events, I usually feel like they're more clean. So if I ever got to that point where I felt like Title Tuesday was a clean event for the most part, then I would be willing to go through some sort of measures to play it. But otherwise, I'm not going to put myself through a circus. That's the only thing.
Again, the measures will be easier than you think. You will make the choice that you do. Title Tuesdays may be a more important part of the future events ecosystem in the EWC than you think, and you will make that choice. And you will make that choice with Team Liquid, and you will make that choice with whatever floats your boat. Let me get back to Danya's story. So his criticism, totally fair. The product needs performance improvements. We are working on that. And that's not like a quick thing to dismiss. It's ultimately the most important thing, because as I was saying before we got into our very healthy discussion, we will not roll something out that isn't required for everybody. And I won't settle on something that I feel like the performance, at least, I mean, if everyone's equal, at least from a fair perspective, I'll know it's fair, but I don't want to roll something out that feels bad. So we are on it, and Danya's criticism fair. The only thing I wanted to say about that, and because I've talked a lot with Danya back and forth, is that the timeline he laid out was accurate, and what broke down was just communication, meaning Danya has been a full staff member for almost 2 years, recently took a step back from broadcasting, wants to take a break, but he's still a full Slack member on chess.com. He goes in and out of channels, team members ask him questions, different things, right? And so when we were rolling out Proctor, I want to say Danya did volunteer. In fact, we were incredibly grateful, right? He was super cooperative to be one of the first people because he cares about this, and he said that. He opted in. Then when March came around, we did think we were closer. We thought we were imminent to this product being ready. And we ran into massive performance reviews when we started facilitating more streamers and realizing we needed to make the performance better here. And there were other things too, but I'll save the dialogue. What really broke down was we should have pulled back, told Danya, thank you for being awesome as always with your service. You know you're not someone who we're worried about cheating. Chill and whatever. And we should have spent more months going back a little bit further in beta stage. You know what I mean? We didn't. The communication got bad, or it just didn't happen. So before you know it, when you add that lack of communication to the fact that we were several months behind, and the fact that we have now done more thought in the last couple of weeks to realize that we may not need it for every event. For example, it may not be needed for bullet events. And if those are the events that have the most performance risk based on the speed of it, there may be reasons for us to be, we are reviewing the policy, and we're not going to operate in a blanket world that isn't good or that isn't thoughtful about it. And I think the Danya conversation was super helpful. And the last thing I would say, though, is, and this is not because I know we've had a long podcast, I'm not going to ask you guys to respond to this, but I think it is a thing to just ask yourself that, how would you roll out something from 0 to being 100% that is so critical that to the chess world that doesn't have a beta stage? Like, how would you do it? How would you scale it? How would you bring in title players of the world's top profile versus this? At some point, you do have to have a rollout policy where some people are going to be on it, trying it, helpful, maybe some more willing than others, and some aren't. Like, the reality is rolling it out. Again, if we had more time, I would ask you guys to really be thoughtful, because product roadmaps are a real thing. It is tricky. And at some point, you do have to commit to bringing in some people, reviewing the performance, iterating, improving. Okay, let's try it again. Let's try it again. That's a thing. And we messed up in doing that with the communication. And ultimately, that's what led to that feels bad conversation with Danya. But just so you know, his criticism was fair. And I think we are going to be in a good place.
So what's the end game with Proctor? Because right now it feels like, or at least, the rumors are that it's clunky, right?
Yeah.
What's the end game? No pun intended.
The end game is that it'll be supported by AI.
Proctor.
Okay. You didn't get the pun there?
I get
There you go. I was helping you out there, Hans. The end game is we want Proctor to be a tool that integrates incredibly efficiently with the Fairplay Ops team. Fairplay Ops team, Fairplay has 3 different departments. The data and research, which is the core of the algorithm, the detectives who are doing the review, a lot of title players, the ops team, which are doing the hard work of proctoring people, observing in real time, running data in real time at times. They're kind of with the detectives, they're qualified, but that's what's going on. Right now, the ops team has a super clunky process of multiple zooms, multiple cameras. This system, while not being any safer than anything else when it comes to preventing sophisticated cheating. Remember, if someone has a secret device and a second gunman, that is a tough world. We rely on data, especially in Blitz. That is a little bit of an advantage that makes it easier to do what we do in faster time controls, because it's harder to perform in a certain way than it is in classical, but that's another discussion in terms of what the algorithm can do, or what it was built to do. But the goal of observing someone in real time, where videos timestamps are archived, we can immediately go back and align data with the timestamps. This isn't like a manual process of trying to chase down Zoom screen caps and screen shares. You know what I mean? We're tracking everything, and we have footage, and we have a built-in robust dashboard in our admin that allows us to quickly compare what was going on with data as well. So it does make us more efficient. It does give us a better record of everything that happens. In the end, the heavy lifting will always be done by the algorithm. And in the end, if someone has a secret device with a second gunman, you could argue, well, as hard as that is to stop, at least we have a bunch of different cameras and timestamps going versus an over-the-board room. I don't know what people are tracking in there. And apparently it can be hard to do that. So I guess what I'm saying is cheating is a problem. And I can't stop bad people from doing it. But Proctor itself, endgame, will be integrated with Fairplay Ops. It will not be clunky. It'll be something that everybody is expected to use in prize events. And it'll be hopefully something that improves the experience and deters cheating in the end, at least a little bit.
So I have a problem with cameras because I feel they're obsolete at this point.
They're what?
Obsolete because of wearables, like glasses, for example. That you're never going to be able. You're never going to be able to detect a small camera. Right now, maybe you can. You can.
What is the difference between that and over-the-board chess?
Oh, it's bad for OTB as well.
Yeah,
it's really.
But in over-the-board chess, you can scan people, which is what we're doing in most of these events.
Well, also remember,
Online,
none of this changes that in our highest profile events. Physical proctors will still be assigned. Some will be random. Some will not be so random. And none of them are the big chess fans you used to deal with in 2019 who let you go to the bathroom and didn't ever wonder what you were doing.
I mean, I'm not going to bring up the case from 6 years ago, which obviously isn't relevant now.
But that is an important point.
But to get into that a bit, so like,
Yeah.
let's say you have all these protections that protect against certain things, right? Whether it's the algorithm or the proctor. But I think it's fair to say they probably can't protect against a really strong player with sophisticated cheating device like smart glasses, which is not too sophisticated anymore. I think you can buy them for about $300.
The only thing that can is our data.
Sure.
Yeah,
Only thing.
only data.
But like if I start wearing smart glasses, you're not going to be able to.
the
if-
cameras
If
are not
your
matter.
DNA changed with time, we could. Not right away. You would be able to cheat in spots for sure. But with time, we might see a difference in your. Again, we have a Fabi chart. We have a distribution of your.
Do you really
accuracy.
have any confidence that if my results
If you
improve
did it
to some extent,
if you did it, even if it was inconsistently consistent over time, we would see a change in your DNA and the way you match up and how you play. Because
and you think that you would be able to take action based on that?
eventually, not right away, and you would obviously get massive benefits of doubt because of who you are, and it would take a very long time. So
What's eventually like?
I mean, depends on how often you did it, how aggressively you did it.
like
because
5 years.
Because I've had results.
Not that long.
I've had results where I basically win every game, right? I've had results where I play like shit, which I'm sure you can probably see a pattern through all of it.
Yeah,
If I started to win every game, that would be a massive change. But if I started to
a good
have,
change. We'd all be rooting for you.
apparently not. if I started to have maybe 2% more in results, which maybe turns into 200,000 a year.
That's an extreme.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It very often comes down to a few games, right? Very often comes down, especially in matches. Matches are usually very
But also
close.
knowing when to cheat and then cheating in those specific matches consistently, as far as again how we would look at that would be like, wow, really interesting to see. Like we're seeing a bit of a bump suddenly in rounds 7 through 9 by Fabiano. Let's look at the last 5 events where it was consistently those rounds, and let's actually run the data and his sort of strength score, as we call it internally, which is how closely you compare to the engines, mixed with a lot of our secret sauce. Wow, Fabiano is cheating in spots, and he thinks he's getting it away with it. And you should ask, I think the peak person we closed was number in the world, and you should ask was there, and number and then number. And just so you know, like, you think you can get away with it more than you can. And ultimately, people who really do this, man, they don't just do it one time. And so you would try to do it in spots, and we would see a pattern because we can isolate the data, and that's what we're doing. And so I'm not saying, I already acknowledge that you would be given massive benefits of the doubt because you deserve it. And we think you're clean, and you have a very long track record. But in some ways, your long DNA track record would make it almost easier for us to spot, like, what the fuck is Fabi doing? And all of a sudden, like, why is this really just a run that is happening here? And when you isolate it, ultimately, we can't prevent cheating, like I said. And I wish I could stop the bad people. And the sophisticated way to have a second gunman, very hard to stop, regardless of over the board or online. But your results and the amount of games you played in Blitz and what you would have to do to cheat in spots to successfully move the needle in a prize way would be harder for you to hide than I think you think.
I think that, well, again, this is very speculative, probably on both of our sides, because, yeah, you've closed some top players. I also think that with any degree of caution, I would get away with it forever. It's my honest opinion. Assuming
I'd like to try.
I mean, I don't want to try it. Like, my opinion about this is that even if it's done in a fair way where you kind of know, but you try to catch me, I don't want to do it because I think it spoils my integrity as a whole. Like, I just don't want to use an engine during a game. That's my opinion. That
I was about to make a joke, but that my team would be mad about because it might reveal something that we do. But okay, off the record, I'm going to tell you.
But I think I would get away with it, personally.
I would hope you would, because I would never want to close you.
We can do it together, then.
We can do it together. Okay.
But I think also the second gunman is not necessary. Like smart glasses just do everything for you.
Have you ever used those things, though?
I mean, they're going to get better.
I know. Yeah, you're right. They
I
are.
haven't used them.
In
Oh,
5
by
years
the way,
from now,
wait till we talk about chips in the head and all kinds of stuff. No, dude,
Yeah,
I don't
good luck.
deny that the weapons are evolving. We cannot stay ahead of the weapons.
But they're already pretty cheap. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but I've also used a lot of them are shittier than they try to project on Twitter. By the way, it's hard to, but they will get there. They will get there. I disagree that I think currently to do it at a high level and do it well, you do need a second person. Or you need some sort of relay. The second person doesn't have to be a chess player, but you need. I think to do it really well, you do need to right now. But the devices are not far behind. Like I'm with you on that. And data, I think we have to continue to get better with our data, and we're trying to. There are areas where we're trying to tease out more big wins and smaller amounts of information all the time. It's hard. And I don't know that this is ever going to stop being a conversation. But yeah, and then just back to it, I just want to finish with like, yeah, we do have big goals for Procter, trying to do something that we think is answering the call, like the accountability of increasing the punishment and the transparency as a call. We feel like this was a call. It's already cost us a lot of money, more than we thought it would, and the product still isn't great, so we're trying to invest in it. And my only point is we're asking for a level of like buy-in to try, based on the idea that if we can show with time, I will accept less players playing in Title Tuesday for less cheating.
oh, I would love that.
And I will accept a better track record of exactly how we can dial in. We might make just 2 more cases a year easier to break through based on combining data with circumstantial stuff that Procter gives us that otherwise wouldn't. And there's no way to prevent sophisticated second gunman or, to your point, glasses device, other than in the end, the pure data and the manual view that our amazing team does. I think we're better at teasing this out than you think. You think you could cheat forever. I get it. This is going to be a conversation for probably for as long as you and I are choosing to
we'll
make
never
content
know,
together.
I never will try, but that's my
No, I'm never going to
that's
let
my
you
opinion.
try. Really,
But if at some point you catch, if at some point you catch like number 5 in the world,
well,
then
number
I'll
5
be-
in the world is
then I'll be like, yeah, you were right.
well, number 5 in the world is not cheating currently. I don't think.
No, I mean, if at some point you ever catch it.
And by the way, we have to bleep out the numbers I said, because people will look back.
Cool. Well,
This was a long
boys,
conversation.
it's already midnight.
Nash, you doing okay? My
Nash is
son has been
sleeping.
a trooper. Can we hear it for Nash right now? That's what happens when you drag your kid with you to do stuff.
It's midnight. I know that usually that's when the Chess Mafia used to.
That's when we get together. Yeah, that's when we start scheming. Well, I really appreciate you guys having me.
Like, subscribe, and all the good stuff. And we'll try to come back with even more guests and more important conversations. Cheers.